Hey, welcome back everyone. Toyshiz here, and back yet again with yet another news update for you. Got a little collab going on with Mattel for this one. They came to me and said, hey, you want to talk about some upcoming Masters of the Universe products? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. Why don't you send them on over, and we'll go to Castle Grayskull together to see and talk about all the upcoming fall 2023 offerings that are coming soon. And just to let you guys know, I will be talking only about the new figures that are going to be shown off in this video. If you've already seen the photos at some point, well, this is the official reveals, I'll just say. With all the pretty pictures that weren't taken with a Nokia 6200 phone, right? But just to let you guys know, as far as when and where and how you can get these, the only available information given to me by Mattel was that they will personally be posting about that information on the 21st, tomorrow, and then I'll tell you exactly where and how you can get these things. But they specifically said designated retailers and whatnot, and that's basically the information I got for you thus far. But it's time to check out some brand new Motu Origins figures, taking the original 80s classics and reinvigorating them. You know how it goes, right? Who bought Eternia? Raise your hand. Still don't know where that's going to go. But that's a problem for future Toyshiz to explore. However, in looking at the new figures revealed today, we have the new Snake Trooper a-comin'. It's basically a repaint of the Hordak Trooper looking guy. He's going to do the same exact thing, except now he's got a snake head on him, right? So that looks pretty cool. Same exact weapons, same exact accessories. I like that he still does the open and shut armor, snake armor battles thing. To be honest with you, it kind of looks like, in a weird way, Kermit the Frog in like an armor version. Just saying. But he's all black with a little bit of yellowish gold trim and a big old snake head. So if you need a bunch of these guys, you can army build them and have a snake army if you would like. And then we have the newcomer, the Eternian Guard Infiltrator, which kind of looks like another little snake guy in disguise. This was, well, I mean, it's a repaint, obviously, but this was one of those figures I picked up at Big Lots. What was it, like 2 years ago now? Something like that. You got that pack with all the extra bonus features. So they're going to be releasing this. Obviously, it's got a new head. It's got the snake weapon. It's got the snake lance. Everything's snake, right? Snake armor, snake face, snake lance, green body. You get the idea. It's man-at-arms, and they've kind of cobbled together a new guy. And then we have the enemy from Mario Brothers, the little pincushion and all the water levels, right? No, just kidding. It's Skeletor, and he looks pretty cool. My first Skeletor was in the Masterverse collection, and I really like the way that this character looks. It's just something that stands out to me. He's basically like a purple Hellraiser, right? Pinhead. He's got a purple Cenobite. You get where I'm going with this. But I like all his extendo arm action, right? So you got a purple body, you got an even more purple head and a vest, just kind of like a darker bluish purple. You got the brown boots. It's very cool. He's got some interesting weapons, I'll say that. I like his attachments. He's got a prong, and then it's got like an extendo prong to it, and you got a bashing stick. Every character in Master Universe has to come with a bashing stick. And then moving on, a 2-pack for you. We got a dual Taste of Terror, Skeletor and Screech. A little bit of a different repaint for Skeletor, and then of course he sees that Tila has a bird, and he's got to do it too. See, he just copies everybody. He goes, oh, okay, E-Man, he's got the green, tiger, and I need a panther that's purple. I got to go toe-to-toe. He just copies, right? That's all he does. But again, this one would be a Skeletor. He's got a new head portrait. I like how he's colored. Gives a little bit of a different depth to the character. I totally get it. And it's basically a repaint of the bird. You got the armor. You got the stand. Swap out Tila for Skeletor. Give him a new paint job. Give the bird a little bit of paint job. And here's everything that he comes with. So again, this one will be a little bit more of a deluxe pack, much in the vein that Tila and Zor were. So different colors, yada yada. Not too exciting, I will say that. But dang it all, if that Skeletor head portrait with the moving jaw is just the coolest thing ever. So again, the whole set might not be like, wow, this is amazing, but the whole real selling point here is going to be that head portrait with the moving jaw action. Moving on. This is different. Or I'm like, okay, this is cool. See, now you're getting to a lot of characters where I'm like, yeah, no idea. So I get to learn all over again. I learned about all the first characters, right, in the lineup, the mains, and now we're going to the Snakemen, and you're like, here you go. Here's Snake Face. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's totally Medusa right there. And I love the way that looks with the eye buggins, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of real Ghostbusters in a lot of ways. But he's got some cool paint, or she's got some cool, whatever it is, it's got some cool paint going on, right? He's got the snake staff, which we've seen, right? King Hiss had that deal. But largely, it looks like a new figure, we'll just say, at least in the arms and the top. Now, I'm kind of behind on figures for Origins, I'm not going to lie. So I need to play catch-up a little bit. Having these come out in the fall gives me a little bit of time to hopefully play some catch-up. But yeah, you got this really cool snake shield. You got an extra head portrait with the eyes bugging out. Again, the King Hiss, everything else. It looks cool. That's a cool looking figure. It's different. It's weird. It's totally weird, but it's definitely cool. And much in the vein of when we talked about Masterverse with the New Adventures Skeletor, this was on display at the Mattel event back in September. So this is the flocked Moss Man, and we'll have to see where what he's going to be doing as far as where you can pick him up, we'll just say. Before, it may have been a store exclusive. We'll have to see where it's going to end up now. Again, wait till Mattel officially reveals again, yada yada, and I'll post, of course. But he looks good. A flocked figure is always fun. I have the flocked Panther. He's still intact, so I have high hopes for this flocked Moss Man. And a lot of people have been looking for Moss Man. He's got multiple head portraits. He's got the little cane and stick and all that kind of stuff. So you got armor, you got extra hand, one, and you got a couple extra weapons, along with a good flocking, right? So everyone likes to get flocked. Now you too can have a flocking good time with this Moss Man. And then moving on, we have really bright colored Skeletor, right? He's flashy when he wants to be. This is Dragon Blaster Skeletor. And a long time ago, I found a baggie of weapons at some kind of state garage sale, whatever it was. And now I know what this Dragon Blaster thing is because I have one of those of the old school figures. So there you go. Now, one thing I like to point out here is that he's got real chains. That's definitely a plus, right? You can see a lot more of that with a certain Spawn line, right? That would be nice to see from a different company. Wink, wink. But this, it looks pretty cool. He's totally different. They're going a little wackadoo with the whole repaints of Skeletors and whatnots, but he's got the backpack with the dragon on it. He's got the sword. He's got the chains. I dig it. He's got this big green lock, which is wild. Now, I know that the old one used to be like a squeezy and you shoot water out of it. This one has a little hole, which makes it look like he can squeezy and shoot water. So fingers crossed he does that because, again, that's one of the main aspects I like of the Motu Origins figures is all the gimmicky features. So a lot of weapons, extra chains, dragon on the back. You get the idea, Dragon Blaster Skeletor. And then you have Snake Tila. And if I'm not too mistaken, this is from an episode where they start turning into snake people, or at least Tila does, right, at some point. You can totally let me know down in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But she looks good. It's a different take on Tila, even though I have, 3, including the Green Goddess. So what's one more? Again, they do enough to differentiate it. I get it. She's got some snake scales all over. She does look cool. She stands out. I like the green that they've chosen for her. She's got a big snake staff. She's got a snake sword. See the motif going on? It's very snaky. So you can get yourself a really cool looking snake Tila when they hit later in the fall. This, hands down, when I was at SDCC last year, they had the big glass case and they're like, hey, what are these skeleton guys? This is going to be the Skeleton Warrior 2-pack. And I'm stoked on these because these were just the coolest thing ever. And I remember looking at figures. They had the artwork on the back of the box a year or two ago now. And I was like, hey, make these guys. These are cool looking, right? And they're finally going to do it. So you get a 2-pack. You got some glow-in-the-dark skeletons, right? That's cool. They glow in the dark. And you got some weapons to them. One's purple, one's silver. That's just awesome. Love it. More of these. In fact, kind of wish it was a more of a 4-pack. You know what I mean? That would be kind of cool. 2-pack, that's fine. You can get a couple of them. This one, I would be interested in army building because I could see this in the vast diorama when Eternia and you got Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull and whatever else they're going to make, if they make anything. These guys are just busting up from the ground. Actually, come to think of it, that would have been something cool to include in the 2-pack, is like a ground situation where you could snap on the pieces, right, and have them kind of busting up through the ground. You know, something like that, just to kind of give it that extra oomph. But again, the fact that they're glow in the dark makes them creepy. You can army build these things. You get 2 in the box. You get a shield. You get a bunch of extra weapons. You can load them up. Skeleton Warriors, that's a good name too. Who's going to be the company that brings those back, I wonder, right? Moving on, we have a very interestingly named Slamurai. So we've had all these samurai characters before. Now we got Slamurai. I guess you would say he's the Storm Shadow version of the Masters universe. And I mean, he's just kind of another repaint. He's got some different symbols on his chest. He's blue and white this time. Looks to have the same exact accessories as Ninjor, right? And you can tell me who he is. I don't know anything about this character. I'm totally good with that. He's just, there's the yin and the yang, basically, of these characters at this point for me. Not much new. Yes, a different character, as I would assume. Looks good. Yada, yada. There's not really much to talk about. His name is interesting. Slamurai. Wonder what he's known for in the realm of Eternia. Next up, we have young King Randor. I haven't even gotten older King Randor yet. That's how far behind I am, but he's definitely on the list. So now we got young King Randor. Looks pretty good. Again, one of those characters where it's like, I'm glad they made it kind of like old King Randor. He doesn't have any pants. The young King Randor obviously liked pants a whole heck of a lot more. Not much going on with this guy in terms of the accessories. He comes with this big old king staff. He's got the cape. He's got a big wild beard. He does look good. Don't get me wrong. In all honesty, when I first saw this, it totally reminded me of King Lionheart from the old Playmates TMNT line. Just saying. That's the immediate thing I got. And then I was like, oh, okay, so this is young King Randor. Has nothing to do with turtles. Anyways, moving on, we have another repaint in many ways. But hey, you know, everybody's got to have their snake armor. We got snake armor Man-at-Arms. And I mean, to be honest, not a whole lot to say about this guy. He's got a bunch of extra attachment weapons and parts, which is cool. That's what you would expect from Man-at-Arms. And he's got a special snake-grabbing green claw, right? Because you really got to emphasize and drive home the fact they're battling snakes. You got to have advanced snake weaponry. Come on. This is cool. Or at least that's what I'm trying to convince myself. Right, next up, we have Squeeze, right? You gotta emphasize a little bit of his name, put a little extra S's in there because he's a snake. You get the idea. Kind of sort of dinosaur-y too at the same time. A little bit of the lizard thrown in there a la Spider-Man. I do like his big, I'm assuming bendy wire arms. It looks like they're bendy, right? In all the different positions. Yes, according to what he comes with, these definitely should be bendy. Very cool. Big old extendo arms. He's doing his Mr. Fantastic Plastic Man effect right there. He's got this big cool weapon, snake, battle partner. I don't know, whatever he wants to be. But it looks cool. It's totally different. And it's very different for what you're getting with a lot of the Masters Origins figures, right? So definitely one that I think stands out, and definitely one that's going to be on my shelf because that's just awesome. Big old extendo arms. Stretch Armstrong, right? Who doesn't want that one? Moving on, going into the mini comic realm again, we're going to get the mini comic Man-E faces. So a little bit of a repaint again for this guy. Couple different faces this time around, if I'm not mistaken. He's got green looking gorilla, Beast Boy looking face on one. He's He's got a skeleton man face. That's pretty cool. And largely just blue with flesh poking out every which way. I like that they updated the faces, though. That's pretty cool. So it matches more of the mini comic. Not much to write home again in terms of the accessories. The play feature is there, which is really cool, which I love. And he comes with a little blaster. So not too shabby for the mini comic man-y faces. And to go from single figures, we got some bundles happening. So you got the Snakemen Bundle, which is going to come with the snake armor He-Man, which we have seen before. Might have a few different paint applications here and there, but largely it's going to be the same figure. 3 different snake men. One's a big blue one, which I did my research. Keep in mind, these are just like, here you go, Snakemen Bundle. Mattel did not provide the names of these characters just yet. I did a little bit of He-Man internet research, right? Using Eternian computers science. This could be a character called Terror, but then he doesn't have that cybernetics and all that kind of stuff. So for right now, we'll just call him Blue Snake Man #1. He's got a big old extendo neck, which is kind of cool, big old tail in the back. And then you have a red Snake Man and a green Snake Man, and those are just extras. Those are the ones that don't get paid anything to stand in the back, and they just call you at 2 a.m. Hey, we got a scene coming on. No, it's just extra little snake people for your snake army. So you got green, red, and the big blue guy, which looks good. The paint looks good. Very cool. I still don't have the snake armor He-Man, so I'm probably going to go more for this, or whichever I get first, right? A lot in the box, 4 figures. You got some snake armor pieces. Snake armor He-Man's got some stuff. I really think that the 2 little snake men should have come with a staff or something like that, just so they do something, right? I mean, you could probably load them up with your own weapons. You probably have a giant box of weapons from all the Masters Universe Origins figures thus far. But, yeah, you know, just add a little bit more value. You know what I mean? Something in the box. And then moving on, another bundle will be the Masters of the Universe, Rulers of the Sun 3-pack. So you get 3 characters. Again, Mattel did not provide names for this, so they could be whatever names. Just keep that in mind. Wait till they announce them. However, in doing that whole Eternian research, one of them with the orange could be Holographo, the white armor could be Kicto, and the yellow armor could be Zapman. Those names are totally up in the air. They could be named something else later on, but for right now, that's just kind of what I got off the old Rulers of the Sun packaging. So thank you very much to Elena Gleason for posting those photos on the Sunman website. Go and check them out. You get 3 figures. You get a lot of different armors. You get to load them up. They look cool. Again, it's part of the whole Rulers of the Sun. And at this point, I think when this pack comes out, you should have the original cast, at least the original waves and such, of the Rulers of the Sun with this 3-pack. So very cool overall. Holographo, Kicto, Zapman, all interesting names. All very befitting of the Masters Universe / Rulers of the Sun. And then finally, to round off all these new reveals, we have a little bit of an accessorization to your Castle Grayskull in the form of Talon Fighter and Point Dread. And I gotta say, I love when you get to add a little something to your already existing playset castle, right? So that's pretty cool. Essentially, it's a big vehicle. It'll perch on top of this extra little piece that fits onto your Masters Universe castle. A lot of people that are watching this going, yeah, we know how this works. But just in case you don't, right? This is pretty cool. So you attach it on there, Point Dread hooks on there, you can put a figure in there, and they go flying off in a big robotic eagle. And you can see on the backside of the extra added castle piece, you got some controls for the Eagle Fighter, I'm assuming, right? Some stickers. It's very cool. I'm always happy to add something new. He's got a little handle on the bag. You can zoom around your room. Don't tell anybody. Just do it when you're alone, right? Of course, that's how we all play with our figures these days. Not too shabby at all. So that is going to wrap it up for my look at all of the brand new upcoming offerings for fall 2023 for Masters of the Universe Motu Origins by Mattel. And I want to say a special thank you again to Mattel for having me be a part of all of this. It's very fun. I'm glad you guys came and joined. Thanks for watching. And as I said, wait for them to reveal where exactly you can get these figures. That'll be up tomorrow, and I'll follow up. I'll put links down in the description below. It'll be on my Instagram. Links will be on my YouTube. If you follow me, you'll have the links. We'll just say that. So, as always, I'm curious to know what you guys think about all these new reveals. Are they for you? Will you be grabbing? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Masters of the Universe. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, now, as far as what comes out after fall 2023, we'll just have to wait until Mattel tells us what comes out after fall 2023. We know Eternity is coming and Snake Mountain, so just clear some space while there's still time. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.